The other thing that you can't see, and we're noticing a lot of, is a lot of ADA violations. So you may have a judge that's biased to one side, and the other side has filed for ADA accommodations. This judge will just violate the law right then and there, and discriminate and violate the ADA Act.
Right.
You need to see that. So you can't see that in writing.
Right. So, and I think it's important with the ADA Act that you're mentioning here, that what's happening is they're requesting a recording. Well, now, the Tennessee would take care of it, I'm sure, because they're giving you the DVD and everything.
Yes.
But like in Texas, you don't get that. So you're going through a very trauma-based time anyway. I mean, you're having a lot of things that are overwhelming you in court. You may be completely unfamiliar with it.
Yes.
You don't have a transcript. You don't have full confidence in the transcript. And you would say, well, can I record it myself? And they forbid it.
Yeah, violating your First Amendment right.
Right, but and also what you're saying with the ADA Act is that this is a way for people to actually record, and then if they don't let you record, they're violating
the ADA Act.
The ADA Act.
Yeah, so a lot of people suffer from stress and anxiety, and the court is the last place that they can concentrate in and make a rational decision.
Right.
So you have that right as an American to be able to make a conscious, reasonable, rational decision. Well, if you're stressed out, blood pressure spiking, you get anxiety, some people are audio,
right?
They have to hear it to understand it. Some people are visual. If it's written down, they can see it. They can understand it and make an educated decision.
Right.
They're forced in like cattle calls every 15 minutes. You've got 20 people coming in. Hurry up, make a decision. Hurry up, make a decision. Well, this is kind of a large decision to be rushing.
Right.
It's kind of like a second opinion in a doctor's office. Hey, I don't believe the first guy. Let me. You need to be able to concentrate. The ADA allows that. Under the ADA accommodation. You can ask for support person. You can ask for breaks, like every 15 minutes. Let's say you get so stressed out, 15 to 20 minutes in, you can't concentrate. You can ask for a break and then come back. You can ask to record, because you may miss something in that stressed environment. That you go home in a natural, calm environment and you go, oh, I didn't even hear that. Like, because a lot of people just zone out.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, there's times that you read things when you're in that type of a mental condition and you misinterpret it. And you go back to it 3 weeks later and you say, maybe I misunderstood this. Maybe you look at it 2 years later after you've just been completely had all your rights violated, and you're like, well, wait a minute, I didn't even know this took place here. So, I've thought that it's been very unfortunate to see that in our courts today, divorce proceedings can take place in about 3 minutes or less. In fact, I was watching some proceedings online, and there were 2 divorces within 7 minutes. 2 divorces. Now, this should be the most sacred relationship. It has the most consequential relationship or effect on your life. I mean, people used to tell me, hey, before you get married, this is the biggest decision you're going to be making, who you're going to choose to live your life with. So the second biggest decision would be, well, wait a minute. I mean, I already thought I made my biggest decision. You're telling me to undo it? And there should be some type of protections for people to help them keep their marriage together, to not rush them through the system, to not put the pressure on them and then say, well, you signed it. And so what I hear you saying, if I got you correctly, by invoking the ADA, you can actually give yourself additional protections. And is that something that anybody can do for any reason, basically?
Yes, it's in every court system throughout the United States. It's called an ADA accommodation. You call up the court and you get in contact with the ADA coordinator. If you have an attorney, your attorney doesn't have to do it, but they can do it. If you're pro se, you can do it, so don't let them lie to you and say your attorney has to do it. You can do it whether you're pro se or have an attorney, and you can do it almost up until the last minute. Like the day before, you can say, you know what, I'm really stressed out. I need this accommodation tomorrow so I can get through court, make a rational decision.
Can you use the ADA to cause them to postpone making a decision?
No.
Well, because I mean, if you're, how can you? You're saying you've got.
It's an accommodation. And what it does is it gives you a little help when you get in there with the support person. Okay. With the some judges don't like it because the crooked judges will not give you an ADA accommodation, and the crooked judges will actually speak about it in the courtroom, which is a violation. So the only people who are supposed to know about the ADA accommodation is the coordinator and the judge. And the judge either approves it or denies it. And even opposing counsel come in and say, who's that? Your support person. They can't ask who it is, nothing. The judge is in charge of the court, and that's how they're supposed to run their court. I know this person has an accommodation, I know that's their support person, and I know I'm not supposed to talk about it during the hearing. Right. It's between the judge and the ADA coordinator at the courthouse. You will find judges and coordinators and attorneys step over that line all the time and violate your rights.
Okay, so if they do that, what is the recourse for the individual?
So then I would file a civil rights violation and a discrimination violation against the court, against that judge, and anybody involved.
Would you also file with the judge's insurance company or anything? Or?
No, what you would go to the presiding judge first. You could make a complaint and a refusal of bias based on that, discrimination, bias, based on that, file it with the judge. A lot of times judges will throw out their own recusals. They're not supposed to. The presiding judge is supposed to do that. If you don't get any traction with that, and that's part of what we teach people too, is how to fill these forms out. You go to the presiding judge. If the presiding judge doesn't listen, you can go to the district supervisor in that county and say, I need you to look into the pattern of practice that is going on in your county. You're the supervisor, and your judge is rogue, and your presiding judge is not presiding. So he's not keeping his judges in orders. Yeah.
So you do still have the fox guarding the hen house to some degree.
Sometimes you have to go up a couple of levels. Yeah. The other thing you can do too with the ADA Act violation is you can also file it with the DOJ.
Okay.
And that usually gets everybody's attention.
Yeah. Okay.